All right, so today we're going to dive into a new kind of technology that honestly could make one of the most tedious office tasks just disappear. We're talking about tools that promise to take your simple, plain text ideas and, like magic, turn them into these complex, professional looking diagrams.
I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? You've got this crystal clear idea in your head, but then you spend the next hour or more just trying to make it look right on the screen. You're wrestling with software, dragging boxes around, trying to get those little arrows to line up. It is such a frustrating waste of time.
And this gets us to what you could call the diagram dilemma. It's that huge, annoying gap between having a great idea and actually being able to show it to someone in a clear, visual way.
Yeah, this struggle is absolutely real. You're fighting with some clunky tool that's supposed to help you, but it just gets in the way. Suddenly, you're not even thinking about your idea anymore. Nope, you're just obsessing over formatting and why that box won't align. It's enough to make you just give up and send a wall of text instead. But what if you could just skip that entire frustrating process? There's a whole new way of thinking about this, where instead of manually building a diagram piece by piece, you just describe it. And the input is so simple.
I mean, just look at this. This isn't some complicated code or weird command you have to memorize. It's just a sentence, a straightforward sentence describing a process using words we all understand. That's all you have to give it.
And then this is where the magic happens. Behind the scenes, the AI kicks in, it reads that simple text, and it actually understands the relationships, the flow, the structure that you meant.
And bam, the result is a perfectly clean, perfectly aligned, professional flowchart. It's ready in seconds. All that time you would have spent messing with connectors and alignment, it's just gone. The idea is just there, instantly visualized.
So how in the world does this actually work? It feels like it's just magic, but really it's just a super clever application of AI. At its core, a tool like Diagram Copilot is basically an AI that's been trained to get what we mean when we write things down in plain English. Seriously, you can think of it like a translator, but instead of translating English to Spanish, it's translating your ideas into the visual language of diagrams. So for you, the user, the whole thing just boils down to these three simple steps. You just describe your idea, the AI whips up a draft for you instantly, and then you get to be the boss. You fine-tune it, customize it, and export it. The focus totally shifts from doing manual labor to just providing the creative direction. And it's this combination of raw power and total simplicity that makes these tools so cool. Let's break down some of the key features that make it all happen. Okay, so every feature here is designed to get rid of a headache. The natural language processing, that means there's basically no learning curve. The professional templates get rid of that blank page paralysis. Real-time generation gives you instant feedback so you're never guessing. And then, having lots of export options and integrations means it actually works with the stuff you already use, like Notion or Confluence. So what's the bottom line? What does all this add up to? Well, according to the people who make these tools, users are saving over 5 hours a week. Just think about that for a second. That's 5 hours of your life you get back to do the real work. The thinking, the strategy, the creativity, instead of the boring busy work of making charts. And you might be wondering, okay, that's neat, but who is this really for? Well, it's not just for one specific job. The uses for this are incredibly broad. It cuts across pretty much any industry that needs to communicate ideas visually. For example, if you're a software developer, you can map out system architecture in seconds. For people in business, boom, instant process flows and org charts. If you're in education, this is amazing for creating concept maps. And for project managers, you can build out workflows and timelines like it's nothing. It's a game changer for anyone who needs to get a complex idea out of their head and onto a screen. So as we start to wrap this up, it's worth taking a step back and thinking about the bigger picture. Because this technology, it really represents a pretty huge shift. At the end of the day, this is about so much more than just making diagrams faster. This fundamentally changes how we can express ourselves. When you close that gap between a thought in your head and a visual everyone can see and understand, you change the speed at which we can collaborate and innovate. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. When the tool for visualizing an idea is as easy as just saying a sentence out loud, how does that change the way we brainstorm, the way we collaborate? How does it change the way we even think? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.